Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to my full moon in Scorpio and lunar eclipse and Beltane workshop. We have a lot going on. It's the first week of May, and within the last 5 days, there have been some pretty big events and a lot of energy that we need to discuss and work through. With that being said, if you're here, you're probably feeling the intensity of this lunar eclipse as well as the Scorpio full moon. There's a lot to be discussed here, but first I just want to start by cleansing. If you have a way that you like to cleanse, I welcome you to bring that out right now. You can pause this video, do what you need to do, but please, let's start with a little bit of a cleanse. Before we go in with all this intention, before we talk about this information, before we get into the energy, create a safe space. Let go of anything that, doesn't need to be with you. Cleanse your tools, cleanse yourself, cleanse your journals. Do whatever you need to do in whatever way that you cleanse. I like smoke cleansing. I also like cleansing with mixtures of essential oils. So if you don't have anything to cleanse yourself, consider yourself cleansed. I set the intention for you to receive everything that I'm putting out there as well. Through this eclipse season, I feel like a lot of us are kind of exhausted at this point. Like in the beginning, I feel like everybody was like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. And there was a little bit of fear for this energy. And now I feel like people are like, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm ready to move beyond this. But I like that. I really love that for us because it's motivating. It's motivating for us to work with this energy, for us to let things go. Like, I really want us to use that to our advantage. I know you might be sick of it, you might be ready to move on from it, but we are. And being so aligned with that intention is actually really good. So as I said, the first week of May has been a lot. We started May 1st with Beltane, which is the peak of spring. This is a celebration of fertility. This is the celebration of the spring flowers. It's like dancing around the fire. It's cleansing, it's purging, it's wearing flower crowns. If you haven't done any of that, you can, because today is Lunar Beltane, which is amazing. Or whenever you take this. I'm not sure if you're gonna be taking it on the full moon or not. It does not matter if you're not taking it on the full moon. Does not matter. The energy is going to be with us. This is quite intense. In fact, this energy is going to be with us for like the next 6 months. That's kind of what this eclipse is beginning. It's kind of just sticking with us. It's starting something. So don't worry about when you're taking this because it's going to be supported either way. On that note, if you have not made a donation yet, that's fine. You can go make a donation right now. You can make a donation at the end of this video. Know that I set the intention for this to be returned to you infinitely, and anything that you send, any amount, is so appreciated. I am so grateful for you to take this workshop. I'm grateful for you to utilize this resource, and I'm grateful for any donation that you make. And I also really appreciate reading your comments after you've taken the workshop. So leave a comment or leave a note on your donation. I really appreciate hearing what you have to say. It means so much to me. I set this out there for you to receive this resource with any donation that you can make, obviously, so that anyone can access this and use this. And I do feel like new and full moons, those are like the most intense energy peaks that we have during the month. So it's my best way to be able to show up for you and help you utilize this energy. So as I said, May 1st, which was Monday of this first week of May, we had Beltane, which is the beginning of Beltane, which is a celebration of spring, peak of spring. And then Friday, we have May 5th, which is Lunar Beltane, which is also a 555 portal. It's 5 the month, 5 the day, and then 2 plus 3 for 2023 is a 5. So 555. 5 is a representation of massive change. And then we also have the lunar eclipse, the full moon in Scorpio. So we have a lot going on within this week. Again, first week of May is kind of intense. Beltane May 1st. May 5th is 555. It's also lunar Beltane. It's also the lunar eclipse. It's also the full moon in Scorpio. So let's talk about this energy a little bit. I want to first start by talking about the energy of 5, because the energy of 5, if you don't already know, is extremely transformative. And when you have it repetitive in this way, like it is amplifying and really exaggerating that transformation and that change. So a lot of us could be experiencing sudden change. I find it not a coincidence that it's on this lunar eclipse and full moon in Scorpio, because Scorpio is a classic representation of transformation. So just know that like whatever's happening right now could be happening in a big way. And I also want to say, don't be afraid of that, because this is actually good. So whatever's happening, don't be afraid of it. It's actually good. But the energy of 5 and this full moon and lunar eclipse and being Beltane, I'm like, there's just a lot of intensity. It's like turned all the way up right now. So some of the energy that you may be experiencing right now, very emotional, heavy, foggy, maybe even irritable or like lethargic, feeling like you can't get enough sleep disturbances, maybe a little bit angry and irritated. There is a lot of change, like I said, happening in transformation, but we also have intense purging from our soul. So with that energy, this intense purging from soul is a deep release. It's a release of some things that were buried deep. It's a release of things that maybe we didn't even know were still there. So it could be this energy, a little bit of like being kind of annoyed with it, being like, I thought it was over that. I didn't want to deal with this. Where is this coming from? But we are transforming and leveling up. So whatever is surfacing for you right now, and if nothing's surfacing, we're going to surface it in this workshop because we need to. So whatever's surfacing at this time, know that it's surfacing to be released. It's not surfacing to cause you pain or surfacing to be like, hey, look at where you're not healed. It's literally just like, hey, here's this thing that you need to look at and we need to let it go because we're making space for way more. So like I said, there may be a little bit of irritability towards what you're releasing or towards what is coming up right now. And I feel like that's coming from a space of being like, oh my God, I'm dealing with this again. Oh my God, I'm in this cycle again. Like, I don't want to deal with this. But like I said in the beginning of this, I actually really like that we have this energy of being kind of fed up because it's going to help us really actually make a difference instead of just being like, being able to ignore it. It's actually like at the crescendo. We're like, okay, we got to deal with this now. So that's going to be really supportive. People may be a little unhinged right now. So if you have already experienced people being a little bit like irritable or just unrealistic or angry, wanting to fight or argue, just try your best to not engage. This isn't about complete avoidance. This is just about waiting until the energy calms down to like take things further. Because I feel like people are acting out from a space that's not very grounded, from a space that's not even very much them. So really be aware of that. And this could even be you feeling unhinged. Empaths may be feeling extremely exhausted right now. I do feel like we're experiencing some, what I like to call psychic attacks in the sense of like not being able to shield ourselves as strongly as we used to. The veil is very thin during Beltane, and we have this energy of the Scorpio full moon as well as this eclipse. And I feel like it's a little harder to protect our energy right now and a little harder to like protect our consciousness. So just be aware of that if you're struggling with that. Do whatever you can. If you're familiar with veiling, you can cover the crown of your head with like a scarf or a hat when you go out in public, or even sometimes I do it at home, like just because I feel like the energy is so intense and it kind of makes me feel a little safer. There's a little shield. You can smudge or cleanse, whatever you're going to put on your head with the intention of keeping you safe as well. But just know that if you feel like you're not as able to protect yourself in your consciousness right now, you're not the only one. And there are ways to work with that. And also just don't feel like guilty. It's not like a lack of skill. It's literally just the intensity right now. And I think there is something, semi-good about this because it's teaching us to like really lean into our practices as well. This full moon, this lunar eclipse, this first week of May is so powerful and so transformative. And I want to really highlight that because that is something we need to all be aware of right now. Our lives are about to change, and they're about to change for the rest of 2023, and they're going to change for the next 6 months. So there's a highlighted aspect here of like whatever's starting in motion here changing over the next 6 months. So you may not see immediate change. You might, but you may not see immediate change. You may just see things start to change in a different direction, and it's going to be happening and playing out over the next 6 months. So also being really intentional about like what's happening right now. Where are you being guided, and are you saying yes to it? Are you following through with that, or are you resisting, Everything that we need to heal, release, and deal with is definitely being pulled all the way to the surface right now. So understand that the darker depths and the things that are lingering and the dense energies, all of that's kind of coming up right now. In true full moon fashion, we need to release it, but there is an added intensity to this. It's almost like you're listening to a familiar song and you're like, oh, I've been here before, but somebody turns the volume all the way up. That is the energy of what's happening right now. It's a familiar feeling, familiar cleanse, familiar stuff, but it's in it at a level that you're not used to, at a level that's maybe a little overstimulating. Overstimulated is a good way to describe the energy that's happening right now. If you're not healing or releasing, you could get stuck in this feeling of darkness. You could get stuck in this denseness. It's not like you're going to be stuck there forever. I'm not trying to make you afraid. I'm just saying if we're not actually working with this energy, you could be stuck for the next 6 months kind of feeling hung up about shit that you could have let go of. And I want you to avoid that. That is what this intentional workshop is for, is working with the energy, not against it. So the more you know about it, the better. We need to release right now. This is layered transformation. It's going to be happening, like I said, over the next 6 months, but we need to get to the root of things and make room for receiving. That's the whole point of this purge. That's the whole point of this cleansing, this awareness, is to make space for receiving. We're going to be receiving a lot over the next 6 months. We have so much change and that's rolling in. I want to point that this is not the time to manifest, okay? And if you were going to manifest, that was at the beginning of all of this, at the beginning of the eclipse season with the new moon. So just know that whatever you feel like you want to call in, just let it be for a minute. It's not like you can't work on it or think about it, but I don't feel like it's a good time to really have that be your strength in your process. And if you've already set those intentions, let them go. You don't need to do anything right now. You literally need to release so you can make room for them. Release so you can make room for these manifestations that you've already put out there. That's the point right now. You've already set those intentions. Now it's time to make space by cleansing the density, by cleansing the parts of you that are deep within your subconscious. Now is the time to let that go so we can make space to actually receive. We are going to get into the collective reading aspect of this workshop now. And as I was shuffling, this was what came through. It was facing up. It was the only one facing up. And I'm just all right. So we're very aware of what's going on right now. Feeling a little worried, feeling a little out of control. I get the feeling that this is there's a lot of overwhelm and fear happening right now. But there's an indication here to basically just stop thinking so much. We need to feel. We need to release. We need to become more in our bodies and in our emotions and less in this, mind that is kind of running a million miles a minute and just kind of out of control. I feel like that's what they're showing me about thoughts here and how it's not helping you. It's not helping you at all. I feel like there's this idea that thinking is going to help protect you. It's not. It's literally distracting you from what you need to be feeling. Okay, they're drawing my attention to the fact that this is the point. All of this thinking is distracting you from the actual healing you need to be doing. So if you are somebody who has been just repetitively thinking and dreaming and feeling and, just getting lost in, your mind and letting your mind be the driver, it's actually distracting you from healing because you're not feeling what's happening. You're not consciously processing. All right? Ooh. Oh, they're speaking so strong today. You need to release so that you can make room for this fresh start, all right? And I know, when we're talking about letting things go, it might not always be things that are quote unquote bad that you're letting go of. You may still have softness in your heart towards these things. You may still have love for this person. You may still, have a desire for this, habit, but it doesn't mean that we shouldn't let it go. If you're aware that it's not supportive of the path that you are on and the life that you want to live, it's time to let it go. Make peace with it. Release it. Don't hold on so tightly to things that you don't want to take with you to this fresh start. I feel like the next 3 to 8 months is some really, really powerful stuff happening, and we need to be prepared for that. You need to be strong right now. Celebrate the small wins, find ways to feel joy, lean on community, even if it's just a few people that are still in your circle after all of this releasing. Be grateful. Gratitude. Woo! Gratitude's a good one. That actually came through really strong for me this morning, and the collective of just write 5 things down that you're grateful for. In fact, matter of fact, pause this right now and just write 5 things down you're grateful for. I don't care if it's that you're grateful you had breakfast today or you have gas in your car. Find 5 things that you're grateful for. Just stop and do it right now. We need to be focusing on that. It's not always going to be easy all the time. But we can be grateful for what's happening, even if it's not where we want to be. And that's the whole point here. I do feel like we're going to be coming out of this darkness. I do feel like we're going to be coming out of this like stagnant energy. There's an element of like, I want to say growing up, because I get the feeling here that some of us have been running from certain realities. I don't even want to call it responsibilities, because it's not like I'm saying you need to like not have fun and be responsible. It's like there are certain things that we need to be really honest with ourselves about in our lives. You know, maybe it's a habit, or maybe it's certain things you need to do along your journey and along your path in order to get where you want to go. Maybe you've been avoiding it. Maybe you've been, you know, I don't want to do that and I'm going to find another way. And in reality, you're just making it way harder for yourself because you're taking the long route instead of taking the fast route, which might be a little harder. Okay. There's a warning here about not taking on too much. I feel like right now, if you are juggling too many things and there are things you don't want to be juggling, they're asking you to put it down. They're asking you to put it down. Okay, a million things just came out. Ooh, put it down. You can't carry everything. You can't carry everything on your own. And there's healing work to be done. So like I was saying, if your mind is super active right now and your mind is the thing that is like calling the shots and running the show, or if you are keeping yourself really busy with lots of responsibilities, you're avoiding the healing. And that's kind of what's coming up here. They're like, slow down. It might sting a little. There may be some work you need to do and things you need to face that you don't want to deal with, but you need to do it. And being busy isn't going to keep you safe. Isn't going to keep you safe. There is emotional work to be done here. There is like stability work, financial work. You got to get real with yourself right now. Tune into the inner child. This isn't to shoot your dreams down and not to believe in like manifestation or anything like that, but there's an emotional work that needs to be done for these manifestations and for all of this goodness to find you. You can't just like have it land in your lap magically. When we manifest and we really call big things in and it's actually working, you're going to be tested. You're going to have things you're going to have to release. You're going to have to heal. You got to face these things because this higher version of you that aligns with all of this may not be in complete existence yet. So the universe is like, all right, bet you want that? Cool. Well, here's all the shadow work you need to do in order to be able to actually enjoy it. It's not about deserving it. It's about being in a space where you can actually enjoy and receive it. I hope that that makes sense. That feels like what this whole energy right now is all about, is like do the work, face the stuff, deal with the shit, because we have to evolve and level up in order to receive all of these beautiful blessings. Oh my gosh, the timer just said 555 and it's 555. I love that. I'm going to switch to a different deck, but I just want to see if there's anything else here that they want to communicate. All right. Let what needs to end, like let it go, and make space for the things that need to come in without trying to push a new beginning. Like I said, it's not the time to manifest. It's not the time to push either. So don't push for a new beginning right now. But if you're going to push for anything, push for the release. That's very supported. Know that the beginning is going to happen. You just got to sit around for a second and wait. You got to reflect. You got to do some work. You know it's coming though, so don't doubt that. That's funny actually, because I feel like there's this element of being like, I know it's coming, but sometimes I can't see it. And there's this like tendency to just doubt it because it's easier when you don't have like actual tangible proof. Don't do that to yourself. You know it's coming, so believe in it. So we have goddess Hel, which I think is actually perfect. So Hel is a Norse. So we have goddess Hel, which I think is so on par for what's going on right now with the astrology and the energy. So Hel is the Norse queen of the underworld, a mother goddess in her underworld geist. She rules over a fiery womb of regeneration and is especially responsible for those who die of disease and old age. Her underworld, unlike the Christian Hel, which received its name from her, is simply an underworld, a place of renewal rather than a place of punishment and misery. When northern shamans visit her realm, they put on a magic mask or a helmet that renders them invisible. Hel is an embodiment of the divine mystery, a challenge to look beyond the mask that appears to see things as they really are. This is amazing. This is actually just so perfect for what is going on right now, especially when they're talking about her underworld. That is a place of renewal rather than a place of punishment and misery. I feel like that's like highlighting exactly where we are right now. We're not being punished, we are being renewed. And being able to see this like fiery womb, this space that we're all being held in right now, is a blessing versus a curse. So I'm just gonna tap in and just see what else they want to show me. The letter H to the letter M. They keep talking about medicine. And I'm not sure which goddess this is or who this would represent, but there's a deep connection to the eagle. It's almost as if there's like an eagle on their head. So the energy of the eagle may be something that's important to you, or maybe something to tap into. You can look into that. I also feel like they just keep showing me the underworld, you know, like I'm walking around in this fiery space where there's like skulls and bones. But I'm not afraid of what's happening around me. Like I feel like I understand that I'm part of this fire. I don't feel like that I'm like separate or afraid. I feel like I'm like fully embracing this space. There's a symbol they're showing me that I can't remember the name of. I'm gonna have to look it up. I feel this like immense amount of softness as I'm walking through this like fiery space of darkness. I feel like this is a really big representation of the divine feminine energy and how to like utilize it and work with it. I'm gonna look up this symbol because I want to know what this means. Okay, so the symbol that I was seeing was like this set of 3 spirals, and I knew that it was like pagan or Celtic or in some realm, and it is. It's called the Triskeli or Triskelion, and what's cool about it is that it represents motion, cycles, it represents movement, so I really love that. And so as I'm seeing myself in this underworld, I'm also being shown this symbol of movement. Oh my gosh, there's a raven flying in the sky. This is the perfect representation of like how the raven is a representation of darkness, of, you know, intuition, of the, you know, darker realms, but it is also flying in the sky, and it's the connection between the underworld and, you know, the heavens above. And I love the representation of how both can exist. So I feel like them showing me that symbol while I'm walking through this fiery space is also a representation of how like being within that space creates movement. You know, you're not stuck there. And it's kind of how we move forward. It's how we move through this cycle. It's how we continue. It's how we find that motion. So utilizing that flame as power. So we're going to move into the journal prompt portion of this. If you do not currently have a journal with you, please pause this and go get one. You're going to need a journal, but you're also going to need a piece of paper that you can get rid of and destroy. So don't write everything down in like your favorite journal, because you're going to need to destroy some of it. So if you don't have that, go ahead and pause this and go and get one. Journal, pen, and a piece of paper you can destroy. And pause this until you're ready. And when you are ready, so the first thing I want you to ask yourself right now is, what am I afraid to see or acknowledge? This could be about yourself. This could be about someone around you. This could be about a situation that you're in. But what am I afraid to see or acknowledge? What do I not want to see or acknowledge? And really sit with yourself with this question and ask deeply. Are there habits? You know, are there parts of yourself that you're not proud of that you want to get rid of and release? What is it? Let's be really, really, really honest right now, because it's absolutely needed. Don't shy away from it. Don't avoid this question. Lean in. And the second question is, what has my intuition been guiding me towards? Where has my intuition been guiding me? This could be linked up to what am I afraid to see and acknowledge, because your intuition may be leading you to something that goes against logic, that goes against what you think you should be doing right now. But I want you to really ask yourself, where has your intuition been guiding you lately? What has it been guiding you to? And be really honest with yourself about this, because it's needed right now. If we're going to be transparent with anyone or anything, we need to be transparent with ourselves right now. And the next question is, what are the darker dense parts of me that have been surfacing lately. So this could also tie into the things you don't want to see, but what are the darker, more dense parts of me, feelings, emotions, habits, things that have been surfacing within me lately? And just really shine a light on what those things are, because we need to bring awareness to what's surfacing, because it's also what needs to be released. And then I also want you to ask yourself, what ways can I better protect myself? So maybe we need to spend less time on social media. Maybe we need to meditate. Maybe we need to journal to release. Maybe we need to make sure we take more cleansing showers and baths to remove energy. Maybe we need to smoke cleanse more often. So just ask yourself, what ways can I better protect myself from other people? Maybe it's conversations. Maybe it's the things you listen to, the things you watch, whatever it is. How can I better protect myself? Really take accountability and responsibility for how you can for how you can make this change and for how you can protect yourself. Because I think it's really easy sometimes to just focus on the things that are harming us instead of thinking about how we can change it. So this is really shining a light on where can I take responsibility in this energy and protecting myself and actually do so. And then I now want you to make a list. You can write this in your journal, but I'm also going to have you write portion of it on the piece of paper to be released. So all of the questions that were just asked, you can write them in your journal, but I need them all to be written down on a piece of paper you can destroy as well. You can just do the piece of paper you want to destroy, or both, whatever you want, but make sure that you at least write them down on a piece of paper you can destroy. And now in the journal or in a piece of paper that you're not going to destroy, I want you to write down what fuels you and what drains you. So like a pros and cons list, like divide it down the center and ask yourself, like having a hard time expressing this. I feel like this might be something that you don't want to do. It might be something that you might want to avoid. Do it anyway, lean into it, but make a fuels me and a drains me list and really ask yourself, people, things, habits, hobbies, your routines, every single thing that you participate in. Think about it and put it on a fuels me or drains me list and become really aware of the things that you're participating in that drain you and really aware of the things that you're participating in that fuel you. On the piece of paper that you're going to destroy, I want you to write down the things that drain you. So like you can answer all those questions on that piece of paper and then write down drains me and then make a list of everything that was on your drains you list. You can pause this and do this right now. I would suggest that you just do it now intentionally so that you don't forget about it and not do it, because the whole point of this workshop is to do things, to be proactive, to make changes, and to work with this energy. It's not just to watch it, it's to actually do it, okay? So you're going to write all of that down, and then you're going to add the drains me to the list that you are going to destroy. So when you get to that point, this is going to be our ritual. Our full moon ritual, our release. So you're going to take that piece of paper that you can destroy. You're going to burn it safely. A lot of times I like to fold it up, get myself like a heat safe dish or bowl that can't catch on fire and can contain things. Make sure you have like water nearby too. Please just be careful. Just can't advise you to actually do this without warning you to be very careful. So if you don't feel like you can do it carefully, don't do it. But you're going to safely find a way to burn this piece of paper. And as you're burning it and you're watching it burn, don't step away from it. Watch it until it's gone. I want you to feel all of that being released from you. All those realizations, all those things that came to the surface. The whole point is to bring it all up, work with that energy of surfacing everything, and then letting it go. So I want you to watch it burn and watch it be transmuted from physical to into the air, and really work with that energy. And then with the ashes, I want you to put the ashes back into the ground. You can either bury it or sprinkle it, but I want you to give it to the earth. The earth is going to take care of the rest. The earth is going to transmute this. The earth is here to support us. So giving it back to the earth, thanking her for transmuting this for you, releasing it, and giving it to her in a way of saying, I don't want this anymore, and I know you need it, and I don't, okay? So giving it back to her and just letting it all be transmuted. So the next ritual, which is optional, obviously, but I highly recommend it, is going to be like a cleansing bath. If you do not have a bathtub, find something that you can soak your feet in, okay? So either way, you're either gonna soak your body or you're gonna soak your feet. And the only things that you're gonna need are sea salt or Himalayan salt and lemons. And if you have it, you can add clove. Clove is going to help amplify things. The lemon is going to help cleanse and purify, as well as the salt to cleanse and purify. So you're either going to soak your body or you're going to soak your feet in this. Obviously, if you have allergies and stuff like that, skip this. Do this if you want to. But the whole point of this is to soak yourself, your feet, or your body to release all of this dense energy, to cleanse your soul of it. So as you're soaking either your body or your feet, I want you to imagine all of those impurities, all of that density, all those things that no longer serve you, all coming out into this water and being taken away so that it's no longer within you. And whenever you feel ready, when you're done with your bath, feel free to sit in it as long as you want. You're not going to be like harming yourself by sitting in it. Like, enjoy your bath, but let all of it be intentional and let it all be removed from you. And then when you're done, I want you to sit in the bath and watch it drain completely. The whole point of this is to be intentional about it all being taken away from you, all going down the drain. You can do that by sitting in the bath, watching it drain, or you can do that by sitting next to the bath and watching it drain. Either way, you're letting that go. As soon as you get out of that bath and as soon as that water is gone, it is done. It is down the drain. And if you are using a tub for your feet, dump it outside, give it to the earth, let it be washed away. But again, like ritually watch it go away. An extra thing that you can do, which I strongly advise you to do if you feel crafty, is you're going to take those lemon slices and you're going to dehydrate them. So a good way to do this is to put them in the oven on like a baking sheet. You can put them on parchment paper if you want to, so they don't stick. But you're going to bake them at like 200 for like 4 to 5 hours. So you're essentially going to like dehydrate them until they don't have any moisture in them anymore. And then cover it in salt. And then you're going to take string or twine and you're going to thread it through the lemon slices and like tie a knot on each side of the lemon. So like, here's your lemon slice, here's a knot, and the twine's going to run through it. And you can either make like a garland or you can make like just like a long, string of lemons, and you're going to hang it outside your door. You're going to hang it outside, the entryway, either as like a garland or hanging down for protection. And not just protection about things that you don't know about and for new things, but also for protection from the things that you let go of. So we're really stopping that cycle with this ritual. Again, these are things that you do not have to do, but I really strongly advise that you do. Do not have to do it right now. You do not have to do it on this day, but try to do it within the week of this full moon. This energy is going to be strong for a while, so try to do it within the week. This isn't a ritual that you can't do another time, but I strongly recommend utilizing it at this time of purge. So now that we've asked ourselves these questions, now that we've been intentional with this energy, we've talked about the energy, we've figured out what the messages they wanted us to receive are, I want to tap into a guided meditation now. This meditation is going to be focused on like identifying blocks, taking responsibility, cleansing and purging, releasing, and then protecting and grounding. Okay, so this is really just about being very conscious and aware of what's happening, being intentional with the energy, and working with the energy. So whenever you're ready, you can pause this if you need to get comfortable, but find a comfortable seat, find a comfortable position. You can lie down if you're uncomfortable sitting, but I do encourage you to stay sitting so that you don't fall asleep. This is like meditation 101. And just get comfortable. You can light a candle, you can light some incense, you can, cleanse, you can hold a crystal, whatever you want to do. If you do have a crystal that you've been working with, this might be a good time to hold it in your hands, just like in your hands like this. If you have like a piece of like selenite, which is really amazing for cleansing, you can hold that in your hand. I'm actually going to do that as we do this. I feel inclined to do so, especially as we're going to be cleansing through this meditation. So pause this until you're ready and then come back to it. And then we're just going to sit comfortably. Be totally present with yourself. For some reason, Zeus is coming through right now. So if you feel connection to look into that, to look into Zeus, you should do that, as well as anything else that's come up today. Okay. So just focusing on your breath here. Just take a couple deep breaths. Just come into this moment. Making sure that you're sitting straight, a straight line from the base of your spine and your root chakra all the way up to your crown chakra on the top of your head. Just nice straight line of spine, keeping a really, really clear flow of energy here. So we're going to start to tap into the awareness of our body. So I want you to start to become aware of your energetics in your body, your auric field. Start to imagine that you are surrounded by a golden white light. It's like an egg, a shape of an egg around you. It's energetic, it's full of energy, as well as you being full of energy. This is your aura, this is your auric field, this is your energy system. And just start to tap in. Where do you feel denseness? Where do you feel resistance? Where do you feel maybe discomfort? Maybe where are the darker areas? Maybe there's an area that doesn't have as much light. Really just tune into whatever parts of your body you're feeling that in. Maybe it's your hips. Maybe it's your throat. Maybe it's within your heart space. Wherever it is. Also become aware of any spots in your auric field, this energetic shape of an egg around you, if there are any holes in it. Are there any spaces to where things are coming in and out without your permission? And where is it? What part of your body is it near? Maybe even paying attention to if that's linked to any place in your body where you have stagnant energy. Just start to bring your awareness into this now. Not trying to change it, not trying to move it, just observing with full honesty and transparency within yourself. And now that we know where we have stagnant energy, where we have blocks, where we have energies that's not moving, or where we have holes in our auric field, we're going to very intentionally start to send light into that space. You can physically put your hands on your body if you want to, or you can just send it with your consciousness, with your vision. I'm just going to imagine a beam of light coming straight down through us, through the crown of our head, straight down from the heavens above. This light blasting through our body. Sending that energy and that light exactly to where those blocks are, and watching it completely dissolve them. Watching it transmute this darkness into this beautiful light that we are being filled with and supported with from the heavens above. Letting this light fill every part of our body. Spending extra time in any of those holes, spending extra time with any of the darkness or any of those blocks, really just letting it all sink in. Feeling the divine love, maybe even tingles, maybe there's a smile on your face, maybe it feels warm. Feeling the love and support of the universe. Just filling you up completely, patching any holes, filling you with this loving light. And just be very intentional about sending all of this energy, this beautiful gift from above, supporting us for our highest good. Be very intentional with sending this energy where it's needed. Accept this gift. Move any of that stuck energy. Maybe there's an emotion that's surfacing as you're clearing it out. And if there is, sit with it. Feel it. Release it. If there are tears, if there are laughter, yawning, movement, whatever it is, just let it flow. This is the time to lean into these emotions and to lean into whatever is being felt and expressed right now. Let it out. Let it be felt and seen so that it can be gone. while we accept this beautiful gift of love and of light from the heaven above, filling into all these spaces and gaps. And I want you to sit with this until you feel so full and complete from the divine light above. Until you feel all of that stagnant energy moved out and all of that emotion that's come with it. And then when you're done, when you've leaned into all of that, I want you to start working on your auric field, that egg of energy that surrounds you. Letting that light fill that space as well. Letting that light be sent into every hole or gap, filling all the space with divine protection. Consciously sending that light there. Being aware of the places where we weren't protecting ourselves. Being aware of the spaces that we needed to set up shields and shield ourselves. Just letting all this divine light around us be completely healed. And know that this is protection around you always. This is a tool, this is a practice to come back to at any time. Make it a part of your habit. Rewatch this as many times as you want to. Get aware of the energy in your body and what is happening, and take responsibility for clearing it out. Setting that protection around you, knowing that you can tap into this auric field at any time to repair any holes, to set an extra layer of protection. And as you're sitting with this energy, I want you to imagine that in the distance, you can start to see your highest self. Take note of whatever they look like. Take note of whatever they're doing. And just watch them out in the distance as they're looking at you. They're watching you prepare. They're watching you level up. They're watching you step into this higher role so that you can meet them, so that you can become them, so that you can merge. Know that your higher self is within sight. Your higher self is already within existence. The only thing they're waiting for you to be is ready. The more that we heal, the more that we take responsibility, and the more that we protect ourselves and live consciously, the more prepared we're going to be and the closer we will get to them. All you have to do is say yes. They are loving and they are supportive and they cannot wait to merge with you. Now that we've set all of this energy into the places that it's needed, I want you to imagine that as you're setting in your energetic aura and as you're sitting in your energetic body and you've got this egg around you of energy, I want you to imagine that we're now opening up the root chakra at the base of your spine, getting in tune with the root chakra, envisioning the color red, maybe seeing the shape of a square. We're going to imagine that we're opening up this space now to the earth beneath us. And I want you to imagine that you've got big roots starting to grow from the base of your spine, from this root chakra, deep into the earth beneath you, getting bigger and bigger, going deeper and deeper, all the way down to the earth's core, as deep as you can get, feeling that grounding, that stability, that unshakable support beneath you at all times. knowing that as our connection with the heaven above, with the universe, strengthens, so does the grounding and the rooting beneath us. We are what is between the heavens above and the earth beneath. Feeling that support as we move forward. Knowing that this is with you at all times. The protection from above, the love from above, the grounding from beneath, the support from beneath. And as you sit in this energy for as long as you want, I want you to repeat to yourself, I release control and I surrender to the flow. I release control and I surrender to the flow. I release control and I surrender to the flow. Stay with this energy as long as you would like. Please stay in this energy as long as you would like. I am so grateful that you took this workshop. I'm so grateful for you being here. I'm so grateful for your donations, grateful for your kind words, for your feedback on these workshops. Thank you for being here. And I hope that this was beautifully and wonderfully helpful to you. Stay in this energy as long as you would like, and I will see you for the next workshop.